Alright guys, this is Daniel Davis, reviewer, and with me is my friend and fellow partner on my videos, Rhodri Coleman, LafTrack.
Hello.
Yep, and you probably could have guessed from the title. Yeah, we are going to be talking about the Series 8 of Doctor Who, first episode, Deep Breath, written by Stephen Moffat. Now this is a rather important episode, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the beginning of Peter Capaldi's Doctor.
Yes. So we should be interested to see what he does in this season and how it could affect the entire arc of the entire show. Okay.
By the way, we should point out before the starting is spoilers.
Yeah, we have to.
You know, if that's clearly not obvious enough.
I don't think it's really necessary because we're a week late, so everyone has seen the episode.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, I think first, before we have to talk about what the episode's about, I think we should mostly talk about Peter Capaldi.
Yes.
Overall, what did you think of him?
Well, it's hard to tell so far because of the fact that we've only seen one episode of him as the Doctor.
Yeah.
But given what he's done in previous performances, like with The Thick of It,
Yeah.
he's definitely a very, very talented actor, and I think he could pull it off.
Yeah, I know. He has said that he is a very big Doctor Who fan. And of course, we know nothing of what his character's going to be like because, like good fans, we've avoided all the leaks that have been coming out. We've ignored the leaks of the scripts and the leaked episodes. So really, we have no idea. So like some people, we don't know where this character is going to go. Well, I'm also quite interested because I feel, especially with him, he feels more like one of the classic Doctors. He feels more like John Pertwee or Tom Baker, which I quite like.
It's because he's not in his 20s and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, really? Well, that could be a part of it, but I think it's more to do with how he's written and how he is performing it.
Yeah.
Performing it, because I mean, we've had, all the other Doctors have always been quirky, eccentric and mad. And
I think at times even he is as well.
Yeah,
but not as much.
Yeah, I know. But to be fair, I would argue that the eccentricity of him in this episode, that was, in my opinion, I think that was just down to post-regeneration trauma, because most Doctors sort of go through that. Mm-hmm. But I will say there was one thing about Capaldi's sort of Doctor that I wasn't entirely fussed about, because he was the way he was when he was talking about that scene with the tramp, and he was sort of talking about, like, why have I got this face? Why have I chosen this face for some specific reason or something? Which again, people are saying, is it trying to explain why he looks like the Roman from Fires of Pompeii?
Yeah.
That was one I don't think really needed to be included.
No, I think they could have just cut.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's not like it's a.
Cut that out.
I know. I
mean, I get that they were trying to have a bit of fun with the fact that the same actor has appeared in Doctor Who before.
Yeah, no, but they didn't need to. Yeah,
but it wasn't really that necessary.
No, I know. I mean, it could have been that was overlooked. I mean, they did it with Colin Baker when he took over as the Doctor. He didn't go around the TARDIS going, wait, why do I look like Maxwell? Why have I chosen the guy who pretty much wanted to kill me in Arc of Infinity?
Mm. That's true.
The opening titles.
Yeah, the new opening titles. I'm not really that much of a fan.
Kind of ironic, seeing as how they were made by a fan.
They were made by a fan?
Yeah, apparently, this is apparently what it was said. Apparently, that video was made by a fan on YouTube. He basically said, here is my own version of how the opening should go for Doctor Who. Stephen Moffat saw it and said, great, can we use that?
Ah.
So basically, it was made by a fan. It is a fan-made theme. I kind of like the idea having like all the gear, having like the clock gears going around. I'm just not fussed on the theme, the music.
No, I don't like the way that I don't like the fact that they've kept like changing it ever since David Tennant's Doctor. They've like constantly changed the theme song ever since he left. Because with Matt they had a new one.
Well,
and I was
Well, I think...
I thought that one was okay. It was a
Well,
little
I mean,
bit better than...
I kind of understand, because I mean, well, to be fair, it's not really that uncommon. Each Doctor has had their own version of the theme, of the theme music, and their own opening themes. That's what makes, which signifies for each Doctor.
Yeah.
So it's not an unusual thing to change it.
Yeah, but I'm not really that much of a fan of it. I think they should really keep the same theme and like let it last on for quite a while and then maybe change it
I know.
few years.
If they change, I will say, if they were to make the theme music sound more like it had been with Matt Smith's, I think it would have been fine. I just don't like the music to it.
Yeah.
And so basically, this plot of the episode is. The Doctor and Clara have landed in Victoria, London. We meet up with, the gang. I can't remember what the name of the gang is. Basically, Madame Vastra, Jenny, and Strax. And basically, there's this whole mystery plot about robots taking pieces of other people to sort of get... It's confusing what their actual plan really is in a way. Is it to try? Is it to get back to the 51st century or?
No, I think with the plot, with what they were trying to do, is that they were told of a promised land, which we find out in the end what it is.
Yeah.
And they're just essentially trying to get there because they use all the human skin to create a huge hot air balloon.
Yeah.
So they're trying to travel to a land that doesn't exist until until they die.
Yeah, basically. That's really the main sort of plot. I think overall, for me, the story was alright.
Yeah.
It was okay, but there were some elements that I wasn't really fussed about.
No, I think at times I think the way it was written, especially with the comedic stuff with Strax and the gang.
Yeah.
I thought it felt really kind of out of place and forced to be pushed into it.
I would say this episode, it feels like a Matt Smith episode. It feels like a Matt Smith episode, which is okay if you want to try to sort of get the audience ease them in to have a similar setting, which I think is good. Good. I just kind of wish we could have done with a less comedy from the main characters.
It felt like it was trying to be a bit too funny.
Yeah.
With the whole thing.
Yeah. So first of all, we talk about Clara. I think finally Clara is becoming a character.
Yeah, because she wasn't really given that much of a limelight when she first started out.
No, she was just literally a plot point, basically. Yeah. She was just something for the Doctor to work out who is the impossible girl, in a way. But there was one thing I did that was irritating me about Clara in this episode.
Which was?
Her handling to the new Doctor. That was what annoyed me, because I think Clara is the last companion who needs to think, is this the Doctor? Who are you? Are you really the Doctor? I think she's the wrong companion for it, because remember, she has been through the Doctor's timeline. She has met every single incarnation of the Doctor. So I don't think that her being upset that this guy is a new Doctor, that this guy is new, and questioning whether he is the actual Doctor, I don't think it works for her.
Yeah. I mean, I get that she kind of has to, ease up to this whole new person. But to be, confused about who he is and stuff is just ridiculous, because considering the fact that she knows fully well at this point that he can change.
Yeah.
You don't need to question who he is, because you know who he is, and you know fully well that he can change his personality.
Yeah.
And that's as simple as it is.
Yeah. And Madame Vastra and Jenny.
Yes. Ah, yes.
This is a tricky one to talk about, because I think out of the gang, they are the most tolerable, but in this episode, they just weren't interesting characters.
No.
Most of their dialogue, or at least, and their scenes, was just basically them saying, we're lesbians, we're lesbians.
Yeah. Which is clearly something that the Westboro Baptist Church wouldn't like.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course there's the kiss.
Yes, the infamous kiss moment.
Yeah. I gotta say, although to be fair, I think the dinosaur was a bit of a unusual thing, because they were saying it's too big.
Yeah. Plus, I don't really see what the point in having the dinosaur in the whole thing was in the first place.
I know. I think it was just to have Capaldi try and do a Matt Smith moment.
Yeah, there's the stupid thing where he's trying to talk to the dinosaur constantly.
Yeah, that was always something about Matt Smith's Doctor I didn't really like, in a way. Him talking to animals and everything. He's the Doctor, not Dr. Dolittle.
Yeah.
Strax.
Strax.
Yeah. I think it's clear, Steve. I think with Strax, there's no hope for the Sontarans being serious anymore.
No.
Anymore. I mean, I've never liked Strax, really. I've always found it to be irritating.
Yeah.
But I think in this one it was not needed.
It was him it was him at his worst.
Yeah, I know. It's just like with Jenny and Vastra, it's just the same joke, or it's the same joke from other episodes told again.
Yeah.
Or again, which does get boring. Like that scene with him with Clara, and he's sort of testing her health and everything with the device and everything. That was a bit of a ridiculous one. And the whole, may I take your coat and...
May I take your clothes?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
just gets ridiculous.
And then, of course, there's the bit with the newspaper.
Oh, that was...
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I found that funny. But it didn't fit. It
does get a chuckle, but it really doesn't. I mean, I always would have thought that, they say that, Strax was like that breed, was just that one off breed of the Sontaran Empire who just wasn't it, who just failed.
Yeah.
I would have believed that, but then I gotta remember, no, in Stephen Moffat's mind, this is what all the Sontarans are like, because remember in Time of the Doctor, you had those two Sontarans who had crashed on Trenzalore. They were both two Straxes.
Yeah.
Not just being played, not just because they were played by Dan Starkey. They both acted and talked like Strax. Yeah. They were both idiots. Let's just hope with the show getting more serious, we can actually drop these main characters.
Yeah.
It does. And so what else can we talk about?
Well, we can talk about the ending a bit more.
Well, yeah, we will in a bit. I want to I think we should try. There was one thing I wanted to discuss. It's wouldn't you agree when I say I think this episode is, in its own way, a sort of a semi-sequel to The Girl in the Fireplace?
Yeah.
I think that was quite interesting. That was quite nice.
Yeah, because they kind of hint, they kind of like tip off that these clockwork machines are the same ones that were in The Girl in the Fireplace.
I wouldn't say they weren't the same. They were on similar...
Yeah, levels, because they kind of tip it off with the whole little vial of the woman that from that era of the Madame de Pompadour.
Yeah. So I think that was quite nice, because I like Girl in the Fireplace. I do think it is one of Stephen Moffat's best stories when he was a writer.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely it's not like one of the most popular, well-known episodes, but it's definitely an underrated gem.
Yeah. Yeah, it is one story from Series 2 I enjoy watching. Mm. So I think that was a nice little sort of a reference to it. But again, I think the robots, they were interesting because of the fact that that whole moment where they were saying, how long can you hold your breath for? And you have to hold your breath around these robots, otherwise they will attack you.
Yeah.
I found that to be quite an interesting idea.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make sense at the end. When they were, the scene where you've got them fighting the robot, and Clara tells them to hold their breath, that shouldn't work because those robots know that they're not robots. So the minute they start holding their breath, why did they just suddenly stop? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I didn't really get that either. Yeah. Surely they're not that stupid. Surely they should know. They still know.
Yeah.
Because at the first they had to hold their breath while the robots were waking up.
Yeah, I know that.
Which makes sense
because they haven't
seen them.
Yeah.
With the end, they've clearly seen them.
And they've
started attacking. So why should it matter if they hold their breath afterwards?
Yeah, I know. I also like I also enjoy that scene with Clara and the Doctor in the restaurant.
I really like their chemistry with
I know. I will say the chemistry between Capaldi and Coleman is a lot better, for me at least, than it was with Clara and with Jenna and Matt. I think the chemistry is much better because we've ditched the whole flirting idea about it, which I think is nice. And also that scene between the Doctor and the android as well. That was a good comment. I think that was when Capaldi really sort of got...
Yeah, really hit his stride.
Yeah, that was when he was sort of getting into the Doctor. And of course that whole... I don't know, where he says one of us is lying about our programs, do you know which one? That was a good moment. And it's a big debate whether or not did he or did he not. I do believe he pushed him.
Yeah, I do believe he pushed him as well.
Yeah, because again, people always say the Doctor never kills, whereas in the classic series he killed most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Also the TARDIS I won't really say the TARDIS has got a redesign.
No, it doesn't really look that much different from when it did before.
It's just orange.
Yeah.
Orange, which a lot of people are sort of saying, like, you know, I think the plan was they were going to change it for Capaldi. They were going to change it for Capaldi, but they'd already changed it to that one.
Changed it to that one for Matt.
In the Snowmen, and they must have thought it just seems kind of pointless to change it again. We've only had it for one series. Let's just leave it where it is. And I think it still looks good.
Yeah. I don't really get why they changed it during Matt's one anyway. I preferred the one he had in the beginning when he was starting out. I liked it that way.
No, I
get if they changed it to that when Capaldi started.
Yeah.
But when they changed it early while Matt was still going, I didn't like it.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think that design suited Matt. The old one suited Matt, and that one that they changed it to suits Capaldi, but that design didn't suit Matt.
Okay, even though I will admit I love the new TARDIS design. I've always for me that is my favourite of the new series.
Yeah.
It feels like a classic console.
Yeah, because it definitely does look similar to the old designs that you've seen in the past.
Yeah, I know. It's all sort of cornered properly with all proper buttons and everything, instead of everything just being thrown together.
Yeah. Because don't get me wrong, I'm not like dissing the design in general. The design is good. And that kind of design definitely suits Capaldi's Doctor. It just didn't suit Matt's Doctor.
Not even in his new costume?
No, not even in his new costume.
Right.
I just don't think Matt's Doctor suited that kind of TARDIS.
Yeah. Speaking of Matt's Doctor...
Yeah, Matt's Doctor made an appearance.
Yeah, this one is a debatable one, whether you like it or you don't. Personally, I'm not really fussed on it. I didn't think it was necessary.
I thought it was, you know, pretty much. I think it was okay. I mean, I think the way they brought it in with him like contacting Clara from the future or from the past, and just letting her know, be careful with him, take care of him, and so on and so on. I did kind of like that, and but to be fair, I think a lot of people would be like a little annoyed with the fact they're still trying to keep him along.
I know, it just kind of seems like they don't it feels like they don't have much confidence
Yeah.
in the fans to accept Capaldi, so we'll just have the other Doctor to confirm it. And again, it goes back to what I said earlier about Clara. This is the wrong companion to be reassured that this is the Doctor.
Yeah.
That's what irked me about the ending.
Plus, it feels like they're trying to put too much emphasis on the whole easing the fans in to this new Doctor.
Yeah.
I feel
At
like
least
it's
it
a bit, it's a bit too obvious.
Yeah. I always say, if there was ever a companion who needed to be assured about the new Doctor, it was Perry with transitioning from the 5th to the 6th. I think that would have been quite interesting, having Peter Davison's Doctor forewarning the TARDIS in the future while she's on the floor unconscious. He's about to die, just to tell her and say, oh, and by the way, if there's a slight chance my future incarnation may end up strangling you, don't worry, it's still me. Oh, and by the way, book an 18-month holiday, you're gonna need it. But it was nice in a way. I will say this, at least it was handled better than when Tennant.
Yeah.
At least here, they're at least saying this new guy is the Doctor, so give him a chance. Whereas with Tennant, he was pretty much just saying, I am the Doctor, this new guy who's going to come in is not going to be the Doctor, I'm going to be, it's some new man, so really, I'm the only Doctor, so just keep on loving me, basically.
Yeah.
So at least they learned from their mistake.
Mm-hmm.
And now, the ending.
The
twist, that ending with Missy.
Missy. I forget this. Explain this to me, because I think I've forgotten it.
You know, that moment at the very end where we see Half-Face Man waking up again with that woman in the like you said, with the Promised Land.
Yeah, with the Promised Land.
That.
I was quite confused, because when I saw it, I thought that the woman he was talking to was the TARDIS, because it looked like the woman who had played the TARDIS in a previous episode with Matt Smith.
Yeah.
I thought that's who it was.
Yeah, there's loads of theories going around whether or not she's Susan, which I don't agree with, because that would mean incest, because she was talking about how the Doctor loves her dearly, which again, I was annoyed at that, because I was thinking, oh god, it's another Moffat woman who loves the Doctor, who's probably going to be bland, because every one of Moffat's female characters have always sort of been the same, in a way. They're snarky, they're flirty, in every way. They've got to have some connection of some way to the Doctor.
Yeah.
Doctor. There's many, is she like Susan? Is she Romana? People have said she could be she's a female incarnation of the Master.
What?
I know, because there's been rumours going around that the Master is supposedly coming back this series, and people have sort of jumped on the wagon sort of saying, maybe this is the Master.
That doesn't make any sense! No. I think my theory works better. Because with the whole thing of her being like kind of flirty and stuff, and her saying he loves her, that's what really made me think that it's the TARDIS, because in the whole episode with the woman reincarnation of the TARDIS, they were kind of flirty and all that kind of stuff, and it made sense. Because when it was the proper, full-on inanimate object of the TARDIS, he was kind of like flirty with her, the fact that she's his girl and all that stuff. It made sense. The whole thing about this woman being the TARDIS, with her flirty attitude towards the Doctor, makes sense.
Yeah.
Reincarnation of the Master doesn't make sense to me.
I would be happy if they said maybe it's a new incarnation of the Rani, which would make sense, but the problem is the Rani and the Doctor have never had that strong a relationship. She was always just a scientist. So we don't know. because again, this is again another Moffat story arc, which hopefully won't take 3 or 4 years to solve.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. So that's our opinion on Deep Breath. Overall, it's an okay story. There were some bits to get that we got annoyed at, both with what was written and what was represented. So, what would you say your overall vote for this episode was?
I don't really know. It was okay. It's just a lot of it felt like it was out of place. So, personally, I'd probably give it about a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I think a 6 out of 10 is...
Because it had its good moments, it's just a lot of it felt like it wasn't supposed to be there.
Yeah, it did feel rather long. I mean, did you really think it needed to be an hour and 20 minutes long?
No, I think it could have been...
It could have been trimmed down a bit. They could have cut out all the annoying Strax moments. Moments. I think sort of trimmed down the scenes with the Doctor and the dinosaur. I think it could have been.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's not the best. It's not the best first Doctor story, but it's not the worst.
No.
It's not as bad as the Twin Dilemma or the Christmas Invasion of New Earth.
Yeah.
So I think that's all we can really say for it.
Yeah. I mean, I think it will get better as the series progresses, because essentially this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
It should get better.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, then God help us.
Yeah, so that's all for us. For us, tune in next time where we're going to be looking at Into the Dalek, which is written by... forgotten who's written it, but it's also been written by Stephen Moffat as well. And looking at Moffat's track record with the Daleks, I'm gonna go into this one cautiously.
Yeah.
So yeah, see you next time for Into the Dalek.
Exterminate! I think this whole episode in general is going to be hated by the Wet Basters Church. Not just on the glorification of the fact that they are lesbian, there's a lesbian couple in this,
Yeah.
but because of the stupid thing with the dinosaur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta say,
I think if you really remember, the Wet Baptist Church are clearly very religious. Religious people don't believe in science.
well,
A dinosaur is clear notification of science.
well, to be fair, I wouldn't say all religious people don't believe in science. I mean, even though I'm a Christian and I sort of follow it, I at least understand some elements of science. I mean, I believe in the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
Bang Theory. I mean, I've always agreed. Like, I always say, yeah, it could have happened. I mean, the Big Bang could have been something.
Yeah, I know. But the difference between you and the Wet Baptist Church is that they're very extreme with their religion.
Yeah.
And evolution, which is tying with the dinosaur, is something they absolutely can't stand people talking about.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it is a bit of a niggly thing, because I always say, for me, I have some understanding of evolution, and I mean, this is going off topic, but in my church, we have for me, I mean, like me and Josh Lambsdale, remember Josh?
Yeah, I remember.
We sort of incorporated that, we've worked in evolution with creation, like how we say how God created the earth in 6 days. What if it wasn't really 6 days? It could not have been like 24 hours. Maybe it could have been like 6 million years. And we feel that makes more sense, and it appeases science and religious nutheads who won't believe in anything. And we just sort of compare the two, and it makes people think, yeah, that can work.
But we're starting to go a bit off topic.
Yeah.